Welcome back, everyone, to our latest edition of Watch More Football. Things are going to be slightly different this week because there's no Premier League games on. As always, thanks for watching us on the Genreverse Sports YouTube channel. While you're there, please check out, we are part of the main Genreverse family of YouTube channels. You find a lot of content on there that you really like, I'm sure. And if you do like what you see on there, there's similar content to that on limonline.com as well. This week was an international week, so we're going to be talking about Premier League because that's what we do. I'm here as always with Ryan, Dave, and Mick, and producer Kettles Dave as well. We've got no predictions to sort of start off events this week because we didn't obviously make any last week. So where are we starting off again? Looking at back at our pre-season predictions and seeing how they went so far, I believe, is our first topic today.
Not very well, I don't think.
I don't even know where we're at.
Some will done better than others here. So far, but
I mean, I haven't done any maths on it yet. But I mean, the main takeaways is, as we discussed the other week, everyone apart from me had City winning the league. I had Arsenal. Everyone apart from me had Arsenal coming second. I had City. And that's not looking like a brilliant prediction at the minute. I don't know. Liverpool are pulling away a bit.
Still well to go.
Yeah.
Where did we all have Liverpool?
Third. I had them fifth.
I gave them as third. You had them fifth.
And you wonder why I was so far down in the predictions.
Yeah. Where were Manchester United on yours?
Right, so there's a bit of variation on this. So I went Man United third, and now that we've got Ruben Amorim's three at the back revolution, that can absolutely happen now.
So you actually think you can still make third? Interesting.
I think we can.
That would be the best comeback since JC woke up my cave.
I think we can get into the Champions League from here if it all goes well. If we can keep our left backs fit. Yeah.
Was that in 2 years' time?
Possible.
Yeah. Dave and Mick had United in at fourth, and Cam, you had United in at sixth, which I think is, looking right at the minute.
What was our thing?
Looking great. We probably just won the FA Cup, and we're like, the changes that we're making.
I knew they were still shit.
So the other sort of takeaways, the other takeaways from the top half of the table is that Dave, Mick, and I all had Palace in the top 10. All four of us had West Ham in the top 10, and that is very much not happening at the minute.
No.
That's interesting.
And in terms of relegation, so we all had Forest going down apart from Mick, and Forest are flying. Southampton, we've all got basically rooted to the bottom, and we all had Ipswich struggling.
Ipswich are there on most people.
Yeah, we all had Ipswich struggling as well, and they're, I don't know, I can't tell if they're doing all right or not. Where are they actually in the table? Let's have a look.
They're doing better than Leicester.
Ipswich is currently at 17.
17. Okay.
Same.
So, yeah.
If
pretty
they
much
can finish the season there, they'll be super happy with that. But I don't necessarily think it will happen. But
where did we have Wolves, by the way?
Wolves, right, so Cam had Wolves 14th, Dave, you had them 13th, Mick, you had them 12th, and I had them 13th, so they're underperforming that a bit, aren't they?
And what about, where did we all have Chelsea?
Chelsea?
I think that's been just someone. I think I'll have Chelsea lower than they are, for sure.
Cam 4th, Dave 8th, Mick 7th, and Ryan 8th. So Cam, you're looking good.
Highest,
yeah, you're looking good there.
I knew there was something different for me with Chelsea we used, but it was the opposite way around a bit.
Yeah.
As I remember now at the start of the season, I said I think they could do well, and I think the idea was that you have the players there. It's whether the place will be an absolute mess or whether the manager can get them ticking over. He's got them ticking over and getting results. So
unknown entity.
I think definitely they are a good shout for getting into the Champions League or finishing in the Champions League this season. And once they do that, you're really only sort of a couple of top-class defensive signings from actually really having a go, I think.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
A better keeper.
Defensive signings might even be
easier said than
at the moment for all you know.
Yeah. A better keeper, a sort of a leader of a centre back. A bit like Liverpool. You need a Van Dijk and an Alisson, don't you? And you sort of...
but they came in their prime.
Yeah,
we're not buying players in prime.
Well, that's the issue is whether Chelsea are going to be willing to spend the money to challenge for a title or not.
Yeah, I'm not sure they care about winning.
Yeah, I don't think they care.
Sorry, 2 seconds.
Do we want to have a
Dolphin
look at our player predictions?
Yeah.
No, because mine will be terrible.
Where did we have Newcastle?
They'll all
by
look
the way?
terrible.
Oh,
Yeah,
Newcastle.
where did most people have Newcastle? I think
Newcastle.
I went 5th or 6th.
Cam 5th, Dave 6th, Mick 5th, and I went 6th as well. So that's looking all right.
So we're kind of
It's-
half
yeah.
at the moment.
Yeah.
Probably a
Yeah.
half season. To be fair.
Right. In terms
So
of the player predictions, top scorer, Dave, Mick, and I all went Erling Haaland, who basically had that sewn up by the August bank holiday.
3 games in. Oh, God.
Cam went for Alexander
Yeah.
Isak, who has started scoring now, but he had a very slow start to the season. I think because
very slow. Haaland was in like 15 by the time I woke up. So yeah, it could turn around now though.
It could.
Super pick, folks. Super pick.
Top assister, we have got Cam and Dave went for Kevin De Bruyne, and me and Mick went for Bruno Fernandes. I don't think either of them are actually.
It's neither.
let's have a look.
I think. Who else?
I think we have De Bruyne as
Assists. So we've got for assists we've got Saka in first place on 7, Salah on 6, Palmer on 5. So yeah, Bruno's got 3 already. De Bruyne is nowhere on this top 10 that I can see.
He's not.
Yeah, but he's waiting till after Christmas.
He is.
Every year. He'll get 20 assists in 5 games.
Golden glove for most clean sheets. So we've got Cam's gone Nick Pope, Dave's gone David Raya, Mick's gone Allison, and I went David Raya. And
Allison's not playing, so does that count? Because he's not conceding.
Well, no. And you'll never guess.
Kelleher's probably ahead anyway.
No, you'll never guess who's top.
It will be Forest Keith, will it?
No, it's Andre Onana.
Oh,
He's got 5.
Okay.
Clean sheets.
When I think about you, I touch Matt Sells is in second on 4. Allison has got 3, even though he's not played since a long time. Pickford's on 3, Pope's on 3, Raya's on 3.
Tight.
Yeah, it's tight. But Andre Onana is, clearly the best keeper in the league at the minute, and I'll hear nothing else about that. Player of the year is not good news for 3 of you. So we've got Cam and Dave have got Rodri, and I think it's safe to say that's not happening.
It's our fault.
Yeah. Mine's gone, man.
Mick's got Martin Odegaard, who's missed the first few months of the season, but he might turn it around from here. You never know. If Odegaard rescues Arsenal's title bid from here, he'll deserve it. I went Bukayo Saka, who has played.
That's a good shout.
But he's not going to get it.
Well, it's the only one that's in. It's the only one that's in with a shout at the moment, though. Of the ones chosen.
I can't see it happening unless Arsenal win the league, though. To be honest.
No,
I think it's more likely. I think it's more likely it's going to be Liverpool than it's going to be. No, I think it's going to be Liverpool and Salah. To be honest.
Yeah. So far,
yeah. I wouldn't be surprised with that, especially if they win the league.
I like to see Gravenberch get it. Another shout out to sentiments. Yeah.
Young player of the year, we've got Cam went for Cole Palmer, Dave went for Saka. Is Saka still young player of the year eligible?
Yeah.
I mean, he's been around for 5 or 6 years. He's been around fucking ages. It's like Phil Foden all over again. Mick went for Cole Palmer, and I went for Garnacho, and Garnacho is not getting it. Garnacho might not even be playing anymore because there's no space for him in the new setup, I don't think, but we'll see.
Left wing back, man.
He's not going to win Player of the Year from left wing back, though, is he?
maybe that's what Trent Alexander needs to win the Ballon d'Or. Go and join Man United and play as Amarim's roving right wing back. It'd be the perfect role for him.
Cool. So
I think you'd rather shit in his hands and clap than fucking join Man U, to be honest.
That's a point. It'd still be a good move.
So I guess just generally, who have you guys been impressed with this season? Like teams, players, managers?
Well, obviously we've got to be impressed by Forest.
Yeah, definitely.
But they are coming up to a difficult run. But saying that, I mean, they looked good last week.
Did they?
No, they were. No, they were poor last week against Newcastle.
They got battered.
Oh, it was Newcastle, wasn't it?
Yeah,
What
yeah.
was the game before that?
I can tell you. Hang on. They played West Ham and won 3-0. So
Yeah.
I'll give you that. Yeah.
I forget about the Newcastle
West
game.
Ham, you know.
Yeah, West Ham have been quite poor this
So
season.
does that mean we play West Ham in the next game at home? Does that mean that's our 8-0 for the season then?
No, we only do it away from home, Cam.
No doubt we'll get pumped 1-0 or something like that off West Ham.
So, yeah, after the Newcastle game, I think it's worth keeping an eye on how Forest are going to do the rest of the difficult games we've got coming up. I think that could possibly just send them down mid-table or below. I don't know.
Yeah.
We've had an easy-ish run in, but
I don't.
they still look all right.
I think they're in a false position. What they want is safety, and I think they're fine. Like the way he's got them set up, they'll win enough games that they'll be safe. This.
I mean, no,
I
think
they're safe.
What they want is mid-table. They don't want to be in another relegation fight.
Yeah.
They want safe mid-table.
I think
I think probably given how things have started, I think they've probably got one eye on at least a Conference League place come the end of the season.
The only thing that would worry me is if somebody comes in and buys a couple of the players in January.
Yeah.
Like Newcastle buys Wood.
Maybe or something like that.
They could do with a striker like him, yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So Forest's next few
Anderson
fixtures.
back.
Forest's next few fixtures. So they've got Arsenal this weekend. Then they're at home to Ipswich, which you would think they've got a decent chance of doing well in. And they've got City away, they've got United away, and then they've got Villa at home. So that is quite a tricky run, actually, isn't it?
I'd give them 3 points out of all that.
Against United,
2 points against you guys. Yeah, that's the only one I could see. I mean, at the end of the day, you can't beat Man United. You're not going to finish mid-table, I would say.
You know,
I don't know, this could be the new Man United, though.
We'll be well into Ruben's Revolution then, as I'm sure it's going to be called.
I mean, you know, you could be flying your way in unbeaten run all the way to third spot for all you know.
Yeah.
Hammerins, Armageddon.
I mean, we're already
is over by then.
We're already on a 4-game unbeaten run from Rude's time. So if another 4 games from Ruben, that's 8 games, and that suddenly looks all right. But even if it's against Bodo Glimt and PAOK and
I mean, when you look
Spurs
at
in the
who
cup,
you've been playing the last few games, though, I mean, you really are expecting to win those games.
Not every side gets to play Leicester at home twice in a fortnight, do they? So
no, they don't. No, that's true.
But I guess
who else has done really well? I would say Chelsea, because I think
Chelsea
the way you guys were, I think I don't necessarily. I think when you look at the players, they're not playing beyond their means. What I mean is they're actually just playing at their means. But if we go by the last couple of seasons, you were expecting them to come in 30% below where they should be, and they're not.
Yeah.
So
nobody's making fun of us, so that's normally a sign that we're doing all right. Give it, if you have 3 losses in a row, or don't win 2 of the next 5 or 3 of the next 5, I think people will start talking again. But I think we should be all right.
I think Maresca's done a good job.
Yeah, we've got a tricky situation.
We're
kind of struggling to create without Enzo, but then we're looking very shaky at the back with Enzo Fernandez. So I don't know. It's a difficult one. Trying to find balance at the moment.
I like that midfield of Caicedo and Lavia.
Yeah,
I do. But
it's a strong midfield.
It's no surprise that Palmer looks a little lost without Enzo in there. He really struggles to.
Because Sancho's come out the side a bit recently, hasn't he? Maybe he sort of would offer that bit of creativity.
Yeah, maybe he's been sick and injured, so he hasn't been able to play. So I'd be interested to see what happens if he's back in.
Standard. What about Nkunku? Because we've not really seen a lot of Nkunku this season. He's not been injured, has he?
He's not top scorer this season. But purely because he's been playing against
farmers in the Conference League, so he's
pretty much.
But he sometimes gets on in the Premier League games as well. Like
he's not been getting much
games in that. I think
he's not choked on that bastard balloon yet.
Oh yeah, he's been. I'm surprised he's got any breath left. But I don't know. I really want to see him play. I want to see him play behind the striker, and instead of. I'd like to see Palmer move to the right sometimes and put Nkunku behind Jackson, but it's not happened yet. And I think Enzo prefers to put João Felix as a number 10 instead of Nkunku.
Yeah.
But then you've got to drop Madueke.
Yeah, Madueke on the right with his direct running really offers something different as well. Which
it does. He's just he's been a bit off recently.
He was very good for England in the international break, though, I thought.
He is, yeah. He's really fun to watch, and when he makes the right decisions, he is really, really fun to watch. But he's just he's one of those players who doesn't always make the right decision.
You just need to show him the worst part of every town that he plays against every weekend.
Exactly. Yeah, that does happen. It's a shame.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've got a lot of versatility up front, which is exciting. But it's just what's happening behind that's the problem.
I don't think it's a major concern at the moment. It depends what your ambitions are. You know, if you're trying to win a title, I guess, yeah, your defence needs work. But, you know, for what I think would be a good target for this year, I think your defence is fine. And it actually gives them time playing together and experience playing together. Because a lot of these defenders cost a lot of money and were supposed to be the next big things, so you don't want to lose them either, you know, like Fofana.
Which defenders? You know? Fofana's the only one I can think of, yeah.
I mean, Buddy Shield was just one of those sort of FIFA wonder kid type guys.
The problem with him was he was possibly our best player the first year he was here, our best defender anyway, and then he got injured and he barely played for like a year and a bit, and he's just looked awful since, and it's a shame. And you get a player like that, and whether he'll get back to that, I don't think so.
Yeah, and he might just not get the chance, you know. And maybe he just gets moved on, and you know he has to refine that form at a lower level again, and kind of work his way back up.
Yeah, loan maybe.
How long's Nkunku going to be happy sitting on the bench?
Oh, that's the question, isn't it? There's lots of talk to him going off in, you know, the next window next summer. I think we'd probably get our money back for him, but it's a shame because he's a player we've all been excited for, and we've just not been able to see him play, and that's mainly because of how we set up and Palmer being absolutely amazing. You can't bench Palmer.
It's difficult. It's difficult for Nkunku to get into that spot for sure.
What about Newcastle then? Because I think it's hard to get sort of a grasp on the mood at Newcastle, because I know Mick was quite pessimistic about them the other week, but they've also had some decent performances as well, like, you know, against Forest, against Arsenal.
You see the other week, you have to go back. So we obviously for this season we started playing badly but picking up results. Then we started playing better and not getting results, and then we had maybe one game where we did both, which we played crap and we also didn't get any results. And I think that would have been the game against I think Fulham. That was where we just were rubbish that game. The Brighton game was weird because we played well and get beat. But, you know, it maybe balances it off. I think we're par. I think for where we kind of expect to be and where we aim for, we're right where we kind of want to be. We're right just hanging about, ready to kind of move up and move down. But, you know, we've actually had some good results against big teams and maybe some not so good results against teams that you'd be expecting to get results off. So that consistency has just not been there, but we're starting to get a bit better as the season goes on. I think our consistency levels have risen for me the last couple of games, and he's kind of got a team now that's working, kind of thing, and a tactical situation that's working for them that we seem to be able to duplicate now at least 3 times in a row or something like that, which is good. So
it helps that we've got players back from injury. We've got a better bench. We've got better players to bring off the bench during the game and stuff as well. But the intensity starting to increase a lot.
I still think we have a poor squad compared to those runabouts in some areas, because our transfer business was so short this year.
If you look through the squad, probably about 9 or 10 of them we had under Mike Ashley.
Yeah. But some of them have been the ones that have done really well for us, though. I mean, you can't call Jolinton a championship player, or, you know, but there's a few of them that are still there that, probably could be moved on now. I mean, I'm thinking top of my list would be Miggy Almiron, who I just don't think, age-wise, level, I just don't think he's at that level anymore, and he's played for us this year.
I don't know if you've heard the rumour that apparently his agent come out and said that Almiron's contract has been extended under the radar. I don't know how true that is.
Try and get some money out of him, even though he struggled last.
Apparently his contract's been extended, even though Eddie Howe just isn't playing him.
It's a strange one. That
He's not even. He's barely even bringing him off the bench.
Because he's not doing anything when we do.
Yeah.
We're kind of playing. We always had that. We had the richness of having two really good people on the left and nobody on the right, but we've not been playing either of them in the left because tactically we've been putting Jolinton there and then putting the more attacking player on the right. And actually, Gordon's been playing really well in that slot in the right. Yeah. When we're needing to, later on in the game, we can switch it up a bit and you can put Jolinton over on the right as well. So he played up with that a little bit against Forest as well, just to try something a bit different. So I think that's just how we're going to go until we get somebody that can really cement that place, But I think the problem is, if we're not dominating games enough, that, there's, unless we have that defensive rigidity, I think we can sometimes be a bit susceptible to losing goals, especially in the counter and stuff like that as well. And I think that's where he's been trying to just find the right balance as the seasons went on. And so far, we've kind of got it. But I don't know.
Get Botman back.
Yeah, that'll be good.
Next month.
Of course. Just the competition for places. I still think we do need to buy a centre back, but
a right-footed centre-back, but not Mark
Gahey. Those dramas again. I don't really want to go for Mark Gahey, to be honest, because I think the same thing will just happen that happens in January anyway.
He's not worth the money that Palace want, in my eyes.
Yeah, but they wouldn't get
70 million
now. But I think they would have to expect that goes down every transfer window with the contract he's got left, but at the same time, I agree with you. I don't think he's proved he's worth that as a player. I also think maybe you shouldn't be too harsh on him though, because I think whatever that happened in the summer, I think he was maybe affected a little bit, and he also, under the nose, Crystal Palace sold his defensive partner, who's then went on and had a great time playing for his new club, Fulham, whereas Gahey was really, not having a good time those first few games. But I think Gay's probably the last few games has actually improved and is kind of getting back to his normal self again. So maybe he just was a bit unsettled by everything that happened. Still think it was a dick move that Palace did though, not in terms of they've every right not to sell us, but I think their fans thought, why sell Anderson for 40 million, who then goes on and has a great season with Fulham, but not sell Gahey for 65 million, which we could have then reinvested. And I think Palace fans are looking at that and going, I think, I'm not sure Parish made the right decision there. It's not us saying that as fans, it's like Palace fans that are thinking that at the moment. So,
What about Branthwaite at Everton? Because United were interested, and there is slight talk again that we might try and revisit that in January. I don't see that happening because fullback has to be the priority for us. But
I've heard you sell before you buy.
But he seems like a decent fit for you guys in terms of a young English.
He'd also be looking at 60 million for him as well, though.
Well, but
we haven't got 60 million to spend on him.
No.
We need a right winger as well, you see. I think the right wing is going to be more of a priority than centre back because we're getting Sven Botman back next month. So a right wing.
But how long?
How long is he play then? Because both Botman and Burn play in the same position, so one of them's still going to play with Shar, and Shar's been the one that I've been worried about.
But you've also got Lloyd Kelly there as well.
But also, Botman's entire career at Newcastle seems to be you get him for a couple of months and he looks class, and then he's injured for 6 months, and then you get him back, and then he's injured again, isn't it?
Yeah, because he's done his ACL, didn't he? And then the absolute knackered all up.
He did go a full season for us at first without getting a single injury, and then it was only in his second season, and then they made an arse. They absolutely made an arse of his injury and brought him back too soon, and he made it 10 times worse. So hopefully he'll be all right next time.
That's why he had to go and have the surgery when he did.
Yeah.
But players don't always come back the same. I know, as we've talked about earlier on in today's episode, so there's no guarantee he comes back and he's at the same level he was before.
Yeah. There's another team, as I'm looking at the table, which are quite interested to talk about. So Spurs have got the second best goal difference in the league. They're on +10 goal difference, but they're down in 10th. So they've won 5, drawn 1, and lost 5. So that's
because they've pumped a few teams
They have.
And then they've Spursed a few games as well.
But it's interesting just because there is a slight sort of whisper about Ange and whether he's actually going to be able to improve them enough, I guess.
I think he's just got to move to their level.
Yeah. I mean, part of it is still
to be seen. This is the season. If he doesn't do any better than he did last season, plus they went and got him a £60 million striker that he wanted, a couple of other buys, because they had some money to spend. So if he doesn't improve them this year, I think Spurs would have to look at getting rid of him.
Yeah.
But I don't know if we'd be in a situation where they'd sack him like mid-season though.
No.
I
think the main problem is all of the issues that Spurs had last season are still the same issues that they got this season. They don't seem to have moved away from that really at all.
You can't argue with that.
Which is worrying, and it's what did for Ten Hag eventually as well. Different situation, obviously, but it's an interesting one that because they are a very Jekyll and Hyde team, aren't they? Which is probably why they're bang in the middle of the table with a mirror image record. But
bang in the middle of the table, but is it like 4-5 points they're off?
Yeah, so from Chelsea in third.
Really.
From Chelsea in third down to United in 13th, it is 4 points difference. Chelsea are on 19, United are on 15. So it is only going to take a couple of games to swing it either way for a lot of teams. And obviously Spurs having that goal difference is a massive help to them in that because they're miles ahead of anyone else in that mix apart from Chelsea and Arsenal, really.
It's so tight, this league. This season at the minute. Like it's just no breakaway apart from Liverpool.
Apart from sort of Liverpool and then maybe City just behind them, it really is. I mean, because Arsenal's really at the moment in amongst everybody else kind of thing. You'd expect maybe they will pull away, but
I mean, Arsenal are 9 points off Liverpool, so that is going to take quite an effort to get them back into the title race. So I think they are fighting for top four, same as everybody else, and you'd expect like a Forest or a Brighton to drop down a bit, but it's whether Villa, Spurs, Newcastle, United can all improve and make up those few extra points.
Well, one of them will, or one of them or two of them will. Whether they all do, I think that's the question as to who will and who won't. I think Forest will absolutely fall down to a kind of lower mid-table by the end of the season because they're not that good, as well. But they're a decent team that won't just turn over easily. And Brighton, as exactly say, I think Brighton are way higher than what they should be based on their performances this season. I don't think they've been as good as
I think they've had a couple of tight games sort of swing in their favour a little bit.
Against us was one of them.
Yeah, us as well at the start of the season. We should have won that game. We didn't. Yeah.
And even some draws they've got, which you'd think could have been victories to the other team. So I think it's a slight bit of a false position, and I think that is helping their young manager because he's not really having to face too much adversity. And I would like to see what will happen. He may absolutely be fine, but what will happen when the few games go against him in a row? And he starts to, the players are moaning a wee bit, and how's he going to handle that and the pressure that's going to be on? But they may be fine, I don't know, but I don't actually see them anywhere close to challenging for the top four, and at most maybe scraping a conference challenge, and that's I don't see them any higher than that.
I agree.
So I think we'll go to team of the week then, I guess.
Is that it?
So
team of the season.
Team of the season. So I thought where we've been doing team of the week every week, I thought I would tot up how many times we've picked certain players, and there were a few outliers, a few people who sort of had got picked quite a few more times than anyone else in their positions, and then a few who have sort of leveled off on 2 picks each. But if we go through just purely on the amount of times we've picked them, and then where there's been a draw, we've sort of gone who looks like they've had a better season. So goalkeeper was between David Raya and Jordan Pickford. Arsenal are much higher up the table than Everton, so we've gone for David Raya there. And obviously at the start of the season, he was just pulling off worldie after worldie, wasn't he?
Yeah. He's been great.
World-class saves.
Right back, we had a tie between Tino Livramento and Nusayr Mazraoui, and everyone was saying it was going to be Dave's choice. I thought Dave's always going to go for the ex-Chelsea graduate, and actually Does a United player deserve to be in the team of the season so far? Probably not. As good a season as Maswara is having.
Yeah, but it's. I mean, I get what you mean. He has had a good season, though.
Yeah,
I said Trent.
Well, yeah, you did, but Trent was ineligible.
Trent doesn't qualify.
Yeah. Trent's
ineligible being
made the team of the week enough.
Yeah,
because we can't have that many. Yeah, well.
But yeah, special mention for Trent because he has had a good season. But yeah, we've only picked him once, so he is out of the running for this particular version. Centre back, we had 4 options for centre back on 2 each. So we had Gabriel from Arsenal, Konate from Liverpool, Mickey van der Ven for Spurs, and Dan Burn for Newcastle. We've gone Gabriel and Konate. Konate, Mick's been cheerleading for Konate all season, but he has been better than Van Dijk, definitely. And Gabriel, particularly at the start of the season, was not only really solid at the back, but he's come up with some big goals as well, hasn't he? So we'll put him in. And obviously Arsenal struggled, but Gabriel's missing his central defensive partner in Saliba, so that's always going to affect things as well. Left back, I think, before I even looked at the numbers, I knew this was going to be a shoe-in. It's Josko Vardiol, who, is...
Scores when he wants.
Yeah.
He does.
Scores when he wants.
Makes a difference, both sides.
Yeah. He was on 3. Nobody else got anywhere near him in terms of nominations. I think everyone else was on 1.
Paul should be on 2.
Well, yeah, whatever. And then going to the midfield, we had quite a few players on 2, but then these 3 sort of were heads and shoulders, and it was the 3 that I was sort of expecting before I properly looked into it. So Moises Caicedo got 3 nominations, caps, picks, what are we calling it? Whatever.
I don't know. He's been quality every single game.
Yeah.
So.
Joe Linton has got 4, and I think that is because he's had quite a sort of an up and down season, but when he's on it, he's basically changed the game for Newcastle.
He's been man of the match several times, but then he's had some off games as well where he was murdered and he took off. So
I would I be right in saying he's your 2's favourite Newcastle player, Joe Linton?
Look at me.
I would say he is mine.
Of the current squad, obviously. I know all time you've got to go back to Titus Bramble for that.
All the time. No, but no, I'd say he's my favourite Newcastle player at the moment.
Yeah,
but I think every time we've nominated for him, he has had like man of the match, outstanding performances, usually against very big teams. Yeah, and I think he is. When he's getting in the Brazil national team, to be honest, and he's had a few picks, but not very often.
When he's on it, he's an absolute monster, and he is everywhere on the pitch. He is breaking up play, he's popping up in attack. He, like you said, against Forest, he basically played every position on the pitch at one point or another. So he is a quality player. And then Cole Palmer, I thought he'd have more than 3 caps, but he's got 3, and he's in. What I would say for the midfield 3, I haven't clarified, I haven't sort of separated the midfield. So that is anyone who's been put into any one of those positions over the course of the season. So I haven't split number 6s, number 10s, whatever. It's just any midfielder who's got a cap, I put them all together.
It's worked out quite well though, because you've got Caicedo and Joelinton.
It looks like a good midfield.
It looks like a proper team.
Yeah. Left wing, we had 3 options on this one. So we had Johan Visser on 2, Luis Diaz on 2, which I forgot to put on the graphic. Which is annoying, and Callum Hudson-Odoi on 2. I think Visser, instinctively, I thought Visser was sort of more involved for Brentford than Diaz has been for Liverpool. Looking into the stats, he scored 2 more goals than Diaz has, and he's a big part of why Brentford are so fun to watch. But I think because Brentford don't win as many games, he doesn't necessarily get in every week in the same way.
Yeah, and I think for the Diaz is a lot of press because the improvement in him from last year. But that shouldn't.
I think he had a really good start to the season, but he's just sort of dropped out of the limelight slightly recently, I guess. And then the other one, Callum Hudson-Odoi, he's got in because of 2 cutting goals that have won matches. As good as Forest have been, I think it's well. 2 big. But it's 2 big moments that he's
a bigger club than Forest potentially. I say bigger club than Forest, who are a very big club. I mean, slightly more finances at the moment. Club.
The thing is, though, I think Elanga's probably been better than Hudson-Odoi on the other. the other side, and you can't get in because of
he has
a certain someone else that's coming and cropping up in a minute.
Yeah, we'll move to the other wing. Mo Salah has had 3 nominations for caps. I don't think anybody else had more than 1 on the right hand side, to be honest. But he's been phenomenal this season. Like I said earlier, I reckon if Liverpool win the league, he's going to get Player of the Year. And then Erling Haaland up front, who got in
he get in?
Well, he got in the first 4 weeks in a row, every single week for the first 4 weeks. I kicked up a stink, and he's been blacklisted ever since.
He's stopped scoring.
Stopped scoring hat tricks.
He's only been scoring a goal every 2 games, so he's clearly finished. But
he was scoring a hat trick every
somebody
week.
else scores 2 that week, they're going to get in before him.
I would have expected Chris Wood to get a couple more caps, but I think he's only got the 1.
I mean, he's done all right, but it's more a consistency level with Wood, isn't it? Rather than every week he's been outstanding.
He's only just recently been talked about the last month.
He has, the last month or so he's been good, but there's been other strikers who've had good.
It was only since freaking Nuno was up in the stands who's been good.
But it's fine because from here on out, Rasmus Højlund's going to have it on lock every week, so it's fine. But what I am going to do, I quickly cobbled this together this afternoon because I thought we were lacking a bit of on-screen content. But I will be continuing to keep an eye on this over the course of the season. So I might update it in the March international break, and then we'll have a look at it at the end of the season as well.
Nice one.
Good idea. I like it.
Start O.
Yeah, it's very interesting.
Yeah. So the next part is transfer wish lists. Then I mean, Cam and Mick have already sort of talked about it.
Brief for us: centre back and a kill keeper. That's it.
Cool.
So 6 goalkeepers and
3 strikers.
Are there any centre backs left in France? That's the thing.
I think we're on to Portugal now.
Right.
I think we've moved on to Portugal. Yeah.
I mean, that's going to be tricky because we're going to buy everyone in Portugal now. We've bought everyone from the Netherlands.
We're going to go Sporting. I think we're still looking at Benfica.
Right. So. Yeah. Cool. Okay. Yeah.
That's fine. Cool. We agree.
Honestly, I would love for us to try and go for that Sporting striker guy Cora's to link up with Isak, because them two together for Sweden are unbelievable.
If you can't afford Mark Gay, you can't afford Vic Giolis.
He's not leaving till the summer anyways.
Get a something like 60 million will get him, but was that not in the summer rather than in January?
Yeah. It's 100 million in January and 60 in the summer.
He's already said he wants
for 10 pence.
He's coming home to Ruben in the summer.
He's already said that he's staying till the end of the season.
So how's going to play between him and Rasmus Højlund?
Well, it's good to have some. It would be good to have some. It would be good to have some
competition.
What's happening to Xerxes? Because I've heard rumours that Man United could bin him as quick as this January.
Well, so there's talk that he might go on loan to Juventus. I don't think that's massively developed, to be honest. I think Xerxes, and this is what I was saying when we signed him, he will be more of a 10 than a striker. And I think where we're going to do the 3-4-3 and we're going to have the sort of 2 10s behind the striker, he could fill one of those spots because Bruno is sort of nailed on. And then between Xerxes, Mount and Ahmad, I think that other spot's up for grabs. And then you look at whether Rashford or Garnacho try and retool and get in there as well.
But wasn't they saying that they weren't happy with him because they were saying he was overweight and everything?
Yeah, I mean he does look off the pace, definitely. They're just the quickness of thought that I thought we were going to get just doesn't seem to be there. So he has got to work, but then I think everyone in that front line has got to work on the game now under Emery, and they're all going to, they're all going to have to change the game to fit into the new system, and it's what's needed because the 4-2-3-1 just hasn't worked for us. In terms of who we need to buy, we've got Luke Shaw and Tyrell Malacia training again on the pitch, and Lenny Oro actually have all been training this week, which is great to see. I don't think we can count on Shaw staying fit for more than 2 weeks at a time. Who knows what condition Malacia is going to be in? So we need to go out and buy a left back, and we've got a potentially sort of low risk option. We sold one of our academy left backs, Alvaro Fernandez, to Benfica last year. We've got a 16 million buyback on him, and he's been doing quite well out in Portugal. So I think that is something that we're probably going to have a look at because it's a low cost player that we
play
know.
That wing back system.
That's why he didn't.
Now it's whoever plays the wing.
No, but that's why he didn't make it at United, because you think we sold him at a time where we had no fit left backs. It's because he's more of a wing back than in the back four. So, I think there's a decent chance we go for that. I'd like to see us do that and try and loan Malacia out just to see what sort of state he's in, and maybe put him in the shop window for the summer. And then just Luke Shaw will do what he wants, basically.
100 million, you get your Lewis Hall.
The other thing as well is
Man U, it's 120 million.
I wouldn't mind as well in this. I've got no indication that this is actually going to happen, but I wouldn't mind us putting in a cheeky bid for Angel Gomez, who's at Lille, who obviously came through our academy. We released him. He sort of knocked about a couple of places and ended up at Lille, but he looked good for England when he was called up by Carsley, and he's out of contract in the summer, so we could potentially pick him back up on the cheap or wait for him in the summer.
I see there's loads of people raving about him in France at the minute.
Yeah. I mean,
love him over there.
When he was with us, when he was a kid breaking through, he was seen as a number 10, and he just wasn't really impacting the game anywhere near enough. He wasn't. It always looked like, and he'd only get on for like half an hour in a Europa League game, but it always looked like he was trying to add to his highlights reel rather than play as part of the functioning team. At Lille, he's dropped back a bit, and obviously Carsley's used him as more of like a 6 or an 8, and he does look a lot better now, and obviously he's just older anyway. We let him go when he was a teenager. So yeah, I'd like to see us having a look at that as a sort of low cost, we could develop him sort of player, because Eriksen and Casemiro are going to sort of be leaving in the next 18 months, I would imagine. So yeah, he's one I'd like to have a look at.
Cenk Antony will get sold. I mean, that's the plan. I know they want to sell him as the rumour, but who's going to get him?
I think if he leaves, it'll be a loan with a really sort of low obligation. But there's the chance we could try and turn him into a wing back.
Go on, do it.
The other thing is there's been a lot of noise. There's been a lot of noise about us trying to get Alphonso Davies on a free when he's out of contract in the summer, but obviously Real Madrid want him, so that would be an interesting one.
Here we go.
I mean, I would like us to avoid that, because he's had injury issues. He's going to be on a shitload of money, and if he turns Real Madrid down for us, it'll be because of the money. I just would like us to steer well clear of that.
I thought I had seen last week Fab had already here we go'd it.
What, to Madrid? Yeah. Well, yeah, but everyone was convinced Yoro was going there, and look where he is now.
But Fab didn't. Here we go with that
one. I mean, I saw the story rear its head again this week, but that might just be international break stuff. I'm going to have to nip out quickly. Sorry.
All right, no worries. Okay. Is there any other teams that you would?
I love that photo. That was before the 2 kids.
Yeah. So I was just going to say, like, transfer wise, like, is there any? Who else do you think will be really like looking to get players in because they need to improve in this window? Because January is usually a quieter month.
Yeah, Spurs. Maybe. Yeah.
I think they kind of short their load, if you like, in the summer, and I don't think they'll have too much, available.
I don't think we're going to see much activity in the window, to be honest. I think it could be. I think last year it was very quiet during the winter transfer window, and I think this year is going to be the same as well.
Maybe see Wolves try and do something if they're a bit struggling and they're panicking,
when
the owners might panic buy or something like that. No. They've never panic buyed before, to be fair, so I don't know.
No. I don't know.
I can't see
Liverpool, Villa,
doing too much.
Liverpool don't need to.
Villa did a lot in the summer. I think they'll stick with what they've got. Yeah. City might be the ones. Actually, City might be the ones that go and spend a bit. They're not where they want to be.
It depends. They might have their eye on the court case or whatever it is. The charges.
Going by how much they've spent recently, they're probably okay to buy somebody, to be fair.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
With it going over PSR this year.
Well, no, but it's,
stay out of everybody's sights.
If you buy a £70 million
they're going to happen anyway.
And get relegated to Division 3.
Get relegated, and then they've just bought this player that's in a 4-year contract or something like that. I don't know. A strange one.
I mean, they could try and be the latest club to tempt Zubimendi out of Sociedad, couldn't they?
Well, there has been talk, hasn't there? But
he replaced Rodri to play for Spain in the Euros, didn't he? So
yeah, well, he's already rejected Arsenal and Liverpool.
Do we look at our predictions for next week anyway?
Yeah, should have them up on screen.
I can't remember what I predicted. Never mind.
I remember roughly.
I
think we
just
all
give us the
were
30 points
that
now.
far away from each other, but we had different scores.
There's definitely some interesting games this weekend though. So we got Arsenal versus Forest, which like we said, is Forest's big test now. We've got City versus Tottenham, which it's at City, so it's not going to be as dramatic, but it isn't always. There's always something going on in that game.
Something,
yeah. And
is that the Sunday?
No, that's Saturday night by the looks of it.
Saturday night.
Yeah.
I know we have the Monday game, which Monday game, but it is what it is. I think that could be a big game because I think if we beat West Ham, I think it could be bye-bye Lopetegui.
Yeah, and that is the sort of game I think Newcastle need to look for a big win because West Ham are just
full. Yeah, at home, West Ham not been
playing. And the thing is, Callum Wilson's back for it. And he loves playing against West Ham.
I wouldn't be wanting him to play though.
So he'll score a hat-trick and then he'll probably stub his toe and be out for
the problem with Callum Wilson is we need him to stay fit so somebody will take him in January. That's the only thing I'm thinking about. So I wouldn't even play him.
But I still want his name in the shop window kind of thing by scoring a couple of goals.
And then the other interesting one, just in terms of pure narrative, is Leicester versus Chelsea at lunchtime on Saturday. Obviously, Maresca going back to Leicester.
True.
Can Axel Disasi replicate his stunning goal from the FA Cup last year? Just a bit of narrative there, isn't it? So
will he start Dewsbury? Is it Dewsbury Hall?
Dewsbury Hall.
No, fine.
No. Oh, well.
Okay.
I think it'll be an Enzo.
But yeah, the Robert Huth derby is always a good one, I think. So yeah.
The last thing this week, then, just before we go, is do you want to tell us about your shit house of the week, or for the live game that you were at, right?
Yeah.
We'll
so
wrap it from there.
So it was. Yeah. So it was. I don't know because I've been watching Havant at Waterlooville and they're in a bunch of cups that aren't the FA Cup. There's a bunch of non-league cups that they're in, and there's one sort of like pure non-league cup, which is all the non-league teams. There's a couple of other ones, but they've all. No, it's even lower than that. But they've all got sponsor names, so I don't know what bloody cup they are, other than like the Isuzu Trophy or something daft like that. I think this one is the Hampshire Cup. Basically, they played against Bournemouth's academy side on Wednesday, and went 3-0 down within 20 minutes. And I was thinking, oh, here we go. I was sort of planning on leaving at half time. Moved behind the goal for the second half, and nothing is really happening in the game. Then all of a sudden, I hear their goalkeeper bellow out in like just this big, deep Scottish voice, absolutely digging out his right back, saying, "You're fucking shite. That was awful." And just because he sort of miscontrolled and given away a throw-in. And then Kyle, if you want to play the video, this is what happened next. He claims a cross and he goes to take a drop kick and he completely air swipes it. Big cheer goes up for that because literally 2 minutes before we'd heard him just digging out his right back for miscontrolling the ball. They force a goal and massive cheers and he starts getting loads of stick. And as soon as the ball went in, it was just classic keeper falling to the ground like, what the fuck have I just done, sort of thing. 2 minutes later, Havant Waterlooville get a corner, gets headed in, cleared off the line. Everyone behind the goal claims for a goal anyway. It gets given. There is no way in hell it was actually a goal. That made it 3. Yeah, that made it 3-3. And the Havant player who scored goes to sort of grab the ball back off the keeper. Keeper's obviously really pissed off with himself at this point, so he just swings a fist at the Havant player and gets a straight red. So within 2 minutes, Bournemouth have gone from 3-1 up and not comfortable because Havant had started the second half well, but suddenly 3-3 and down to 10 men. And this, young keeper of theirs, I think his surname's McKenna, I don't know his first name, got waved off and given loads of well wishes. And the game ended 5-3 to Havant Waterlooville, which was good. Apart from that, when the sub keeper came on, we gave him stick asking him how shit he must be if he couldn't get in ahead of the other guy. So, all in all, it was a great night.
Great night in lower league football, people. Feel free to come over visit the UK and go to some of these experiences for yourself.
Anyway, it was a lot of fun, and it was only 15 quid to get in. So, it wasn't even that.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. If you enjoy it, why not? And it is cheap, so all power to it. We'll finish up this week because we've got some places we need to go, but we will be resuming our regular programming next week again. So we'll be back we'll be discussing our predictions, doing our normal features that we cover because the Premier League is back this weekend. So thank God, a normal weekend once more. We are all pleased about that. Thanks very much for watching us. Give us a like and subscribe if you can, and check us out next week. We will be back. Thanks again.
Bye.